Today I'm going to show y'all how to make this Halloween Sonny Angel candy corn dress. All you're going to need is a Sonny Angel, scissors, a 1.65mm crochet hook, a small needle to weave in your ends, and last but not least, you're going to need orange crochet thread, yellow crochet thread, and white crochet thread. I use Aunt Lydia's crochet thread in size 10, so if you want to follow this tutorial exactly, this is the size thread you're going to have to use. Otherwise, you can use other types of thread like embroidery thread or bigger sizes or smaller sizes, but that is going to have to depend on measuring around your Sonny's waist, and then you'll have to tailor it from there. This pattern is pretty simple, so I think it's easily modifiable. But yeah, otherwise, let's get started. We're going to do this pattern in two parts, the skirt portion and the top portion. We're going to start with the skirt portion first by chaining the amount of chains we need to fit around the Sonny Angel's waist. We're going to start with our orange thread. We're going to make a slip knot, and then we're going to chain 24. So we've chained 24, and before we slip stitch this together, a good idea is to measure this around your Sonny Angel. So I'm just going to take the chain and measure it around and figure out if that's a good size. And that looks pretty good to me. If it's too tight, then I would make your chains a bit looser or add like 2 more chains. If it's too loose, I would take away chains or try to make your chains tighter. But to keep it simple, I'm going with 24 because that's what works for me. And yeah. Alright, so I've got my yarn back on my hook, and I'm going to slip stitch into the beginning chain, the first chain. Just like that. So for the first round, I'm going to chain 1. After the chain 1, I'm going to half double crochet into that same stitch that we chained out of, while crocheting over that tail so that we don't have to weave it in later. From there, we're going to half double crochet around, so 1 half double crochet in each stitch. Also, brief interlude, something really helpful to keep your tension when you're working with really small threads is to hold your yarn a specific way. So what I like to do is I take my hand and I take my pinky, I wrap the yarn around my pinky, under my ring finger, over the middle finger, under my pointer finger, and then I keep my hand closed like this, and then my finger out like that, and then I just hold my work, and it keeps the tension super tight. This is the best way that I've found to hold my yarn. There's, I'm sure, so many other ways, but I used to like hold it like that or just like that, and that can work, but I just find that the yarn is so fine that it kind of slips through my fingers. So around the pinky, under the ring, over the middle, under the pointer. So enough blabbering. I'm going to speed this up in a second, but I'm just going to continue doing half double crochet around. So I'll come back when I'm done with the round. All right, so we've got to the end of the row. That is the slip stitch right there, and then that is the chain that we chained 1 at the beginning of the round. So we're not going to work into either of those. We're going to act like those are not there. So we're going to chain into this stitch, which is the first stitch of the first round. So slip stitch into there. And now we're on row 2. For row 2, we're basically going to do the exact same thing. So chain 1, half double crochet in that same stitch, and then we're going to half double crochet in each stitch around, just like round 1. Okay, so I'm nearing the end, and again, that right there is the slip stitch, and that was the chain 1, so we're going to skip those. So skip that, skip that. We're going to go right into that first stitch of round 2. There. And from here, we're going to change to our yellow yarn. So we're going to put our work down. We're going to grab our yellow yarn, and I'm going to make a slip knot. And keeping the hook through the orange yarn, I'm going to put the yellow slip knot on our hook and tighten, like not super tight, maybe like that much. And then I'm going to pull through the orange loop. I'm going to tighten the orange loop, and I'm going to make sure the knot stays on the left side of that orange loop. And then I'm going to chain 1, and try to tighten that orange knot. And then we're going to do the same thing we did in rounds 1 through 2. We're going to half double crochet around. So I'm going to half double crochet out of the same stitch we chained 1 out of, and I'm going to work my yarn over those 2 colors. There, we're going to pull those 2 tight, and then I'm going to work over those 2 yarns for a while. And you don't have to crochet over the tails. You can just weave them in after, but this is just how I like to do it because it's easier. And I like to have the least amount of yarn tails to weave in at the end as possible because that is my least favorite thing to do. And also, this is when our scissors are going to come in handy. I'm going to cut both threads because I feel like they're pretty long, so I'll cut the orange thread and the yellow. And something I like to do is save my scraps in a jar because you can end up using them for stuffing, but I find that to be a cool way to reuse your scraps, but I guess you can also throw it away. I don't know. All right, back to it. Very simple. Still gonna be half double crocheting around. All right, so that's kind of what it looks like so far. And we're gonna skip. It's really easy to tell when we've changed colors. So that was the last stitch that I worked into. Skip the slip stitch, skip the chain, and slip stitch into the first stitch of round 3. This one's a bit tighter than the other one, so it's gonna be kind of hard to go into. A nice hack is to actually use your crochet hook as a hook. That helps me get into tough spots sometimes. Okay, I did it. And then slip stitch. Okay, so that was round 3, and we're gonna do 2 more rounds of that exact same thing in yellow. So we're gonna chain 1 and then half double crochet 1 in each stitch around until we finish the 5th row. So I will check back when I'm done with that. Okay, so I just finished row 5. This is what it looks like. And to recap, we basically did 5 rows of half double crochet around with 2 orange rows and 3 yellow rows. Now to finish off the skirt, I'm gonna do a scalloped edge, and to remind y'all what that looks like, it's just these little cute scallops. Adds just a nice little touch, I think. So to do that, I'm not going to chain 1 for this one. I'm just going to half double crochet 3 in that same stitch that the loop was coming out of. 3, or that was 2, 3, and then slip stitch in the next stitch, and then half double crochet 3 in the next, and then slip stitch in the next. And we're going to repeat that pattern around the whole skirt. So I'm going to go do that and then come back when I get towards the end. So I'm coming up towards the end. I'm going to do my 3 half double crochet in the last stitch. And then I'm going to slip stitch into that last slip stitch. I think that is good. There. And that's what the skirt should look like. I'm going to leave a little bit of tail to be able to weave in my ends. I'm going to pull that through. I'm going to thread my needle. My needle is threaded. And then I'm going to go through that little hole right there. And bring the thread to the back. And then turn it inside out. And then weave it. You can weave it through wherever. So just kind of put it through there. Ooh, it's hard to get through. It helps to kind of put your needle, I'm not going to do it on the shirt because I don't want to ruin it, but it helps put your needle on a surface and then push it down if it's that tight. And then I'm going to thread it through one thread and then tie a knot. And you can tie a double knot if you want it to be extra secure, which I try to do. I don't know if it's overkill, so I'm going to do double knot in that same stitch. And then I'm gonna weave it through some more stitches. I'm gonna try to pick out stitches that aren't so tight, but you really just wanna weave it through thread that is the same color if you can. There. Once you've woven it in just for, you know, a teeny bit, just gonna cut off the excess. And that's your little skirt so far. Very cute. Now we're gonna do the shirt part. So for the shirt part, we're gonna start with orange. So I'm gonna make a slip knot. I'm gonna set that aside. And then we're gonna figure out where we're gonna attach it on our skirt. So see how this seam is in the back? I like to keep that in the back because it just wouldn't look as good in the front. And then from here, I know that I want to do 10 half double crochet across because I've measured it before. And really, what's a good idea before we move on is to try the skirt on to our Sonny Angel. So we're gonna try it on and see if it fits. Maybe a little tight. Oh no, that's good. Look how cute. Yeah, so that's perfect. And I know that 10 across is probably good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, that's perfect. So if you use a different size yarn than me, you just need to simply try it on and then count how many stitches you want across for the top. But I want 10, so I know this is a good stitch because we're going to be working right to left at first. So you can put your hook on it when your Sonny Angel has a skirt on or not. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. You can either go through this loop or you can go under like 2 loops. And I feel like maybe that might be a better option. I don't know. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to put my hook through this stitch. I'm going to grab my slip knot, put it on my hook, tighten it, but not too tight, and then pull through, and then chain. You don't want the knot showing in the front. And then you're going to half double crochet in that same stitch. And I'm going to pull tight. We're doing 10 half double crochets across, so that was 1, this is 2, 3, and I'm crocheting over the tail as we go along, pulling it tight. So that was 3, 4, 5, 6. And the reason I try to go under 2 loops is because I've done only 1 loop before, and I think it just makes more of a spaced look between the shirt and the skirt. So it looks more seamless when you go under both loops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. 7, 8, 9. So this is where we change to white. So if you're unfamiliar with color changes, if you want to make them seamless, this is what you do. So you're going to do 9 half double crochet, and then on the 10th half double, you'll do it like normal. So go in there, pull up a loop, and then you stop here. So stop there, put your orange yarn back, and we're going to take our white yarn. I am not going to do a slip knot for this. You can if you want it to be more secure, but it could be bulky. So I am not, because it's at the side of this row, and I don't want the slip knot to be bulky. So we're going to finish that half double crochet stitch with the white. And see how that is a perfect transition. And the 10th top loop, here I'm going to pull, you got to pull that orange stitch. See how that 10th top loop is orange, and now we successfully have our white yarn through. So from here, I went ahead and left the tail for weaving. I'm going to chain 1, tighten the orange tail, turn our work, and then this is the probably most complicated part, which it's not even that complicated, but it might be a little confusing. We're going to do a half double crochet invisible decrease, and I'm going to do it while carrying the orange yarn. And basically, we're going to yarn over, and then I want to carry this orange yarn while we do it. And we're going to go into the back loop only of that first stitch, and then the back loop only of that second stitch. Then I'm holding the orange tail tight like this. Yarn over, pull through both loops. So see how this tail is encased now in there? And then I'm going to yarn over and pull through 3, just like a normal half double crochet. And now we've got 2 stitches turned into 1. From here, I'm going to carry my yarn while doing 6 half double crochets. So we're going to do another half double crochet invisible decrease while carrying the orange yarn. So we're going to go into that back loop only, and then again into that second back loop only. Hold the tail to the side and then yarn over, pulling through both loops. Now you have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 3. Yay! Okay, now I'm going to leave that orange tail to the side. And then we're going to do one more row of white. So, gonna chain, turn our work. We're going to do another half double invisible decrease. So for this one, because, maybe this is confusing, I'm sorry, but because we were on the wrong side, for the invisible decrease, we did the back loop only, which is actually the front loop from the front. So now that we've turned our work to do our invisible decrease, we're gonna do front loop only because it's the front loop from this perspective. So pull through both. There. And pull up 3 loops, yarn over, pull through 3. Yay! And then we're gonna half double crochet 4 across. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our last half double invisible decrease. So yarn over, front loop, and then front loop. Pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 3. So from here we chain 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And before you secure the whole thing, it's probably a good idea to try it on, see if it fits. Yeah, that fits. I think it's gonna be a bit on the shorter side, but that's fine. All right, and then from here, we're just gonna attach it to the other side of the top of the shirt part. And you can find the first stitch, see, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. That was the first stitch, so we can insert our hook from the back side into that first stitch. There, and then slip stitch. Yay! And that's the dress. I'm gonna cut, leave a tail for sewing, pull that through. And yeah, after this, we just need to weave in all our ends. So to weave in your ends, you gotta thread your needle, and then I just like to kind of weave into the back side, choosing a part that's the same color as the tail, and then making a knot to one of the stitches. And sometimes I do a double knot because I don't want it to come undone, but I don't know if that is necessary. So yeah, just choose like a stitch, any stitch, and then put your hook through the loop to make a knot. And then from there you can do that same thing again in the same stitch to make a double knot, or you could just weave in the rest again. So I'm just gonna weave. And then cut off the excess. And then just repeat that for all your other ends, and then we'll come back. I've got all my ends woven in, and now for the final reveal. And there you have it. Look how cute! Sonny Angel candy corn dress. Adorable. I love how it turned out, and it's super easy to make. I've made it 3 times already. This was the first time I ever made it. This was the second one I made, and this was the third one. So you can kind of see me improve as I keep doing it. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial. I have many more to come. I also have a Halloween cute themed dress like this that I made with variegated black multicolor yarn. And then I have that dress in blue. So I'm gonna make a tutorial for these dresses because they're pretty cute. I have a tutorial up on my channel already for this style of dress. And then I have that one in blue in a shorter version. I have this apron style dress that I made a tutorial on TikTok, but maybe I'll make one for YouTube. Or I can put my TikTok tutorial on YouTube Shorts. I don't know how that works, but I have that one in green. And then I'm working on a strawberry one, so I need to put the seeds on her. And then this one I did already, but it's not on a Sonny right now. But yeah, if y'all are interested in tutorials of all these, I will make those. But yeah, that's it really. Thanks for watching the Sonny tutorial. Maybe I'll insert other video clips of them standing up and stuff. Here's the finished product of them standing up with their candy corn dresses. And I think it's so cute and perfect for Halloween. So yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you on the next video.